What's going on, guys? You got Jewnbug here, coach of the Maine Red Clawitzers, and we are going up against the Djezze. This is sort of the makeup match, week 3, in his Haxo Haalderen, I believe the name is. So here you see his team on the left, and my team, as usual, on the right. When I look at this team, uh, first of all, obviously, um, Bliss is really going to be tough to beat. You know any mon that can take that Toxapex that hits Toxapex pretty hard is most likely going to not hit Blissey very hard and vice versa. Um, Most likely, I assume he's going to be going a more physically defensive Toxapex for the more specially defensive Blissey. That way, he can just sort of dance around whatever I want to throw in there. So that's sort of like my biggest issue is trying to figure out a way around that. And obviously Kyogre's pretty scary, but yeah, a team that I think is going to be a tough matchup defensively. But I think if we can position right and get momentum, then we're going to be in pretty decent shape. So here is my team. First, we're going to look at my Colossus, my Arceus. Max attack, speed to speed EV to outspeed a um, a Whimsicott, which was kind of unnecessary because the most likely thing it's going to do to cause a problem is Prankster. But that's only a few more speed EVs higher than Sneasel, so I figured might as well. And I had to do Jolly anyway, so didn't want to let Sneasel get off any low kicks or anything. Banded low kick could probably do a lot to me. So I went with that speed. 252 attack, running a physical Arceus Steel. Iron Head, Bullet Seed, EQ, Avalanche. This does a pretty good amount to most of his team. Um, if I can get a flinch off on Blissey and he doesn't counter me, then I'll be in really good shape. I'm guessing he is going to bring counter, but it's sometimes you just have to hope something's going your favor. As you see, this pretty much takes care of everything. Anything that Ironhead doesn't hit, like Kyogre, I have Bullet Seed. Salamence, I brought Avalanche. Figure that would be, that one hit kills most of the time. Uh, After Intimidate, if he does attack me first, which maybe with a Dragon Dance he wouldn't, but uh, yeah, it's a decent check to Salamence without having to run any special EVs. Empoleon, EQ, all these, pretty much everything gets hit. Um, Pretty much everything gets hit by this. So hoping it can just chunk some stuff and provide some help as a breaker. Next, we have a Specs Togekiss set. Now, Specs Togekiss, I like to run, if I'm running a choice item, I like to run some way of getting momentum, so I'm bringing Baton Pass out. Defog, just as a solid option to get rid of any rocks or anything. And then Air Slash and Aura Sphere. Air Slash hits pretty much everything. And what it doesn't hit, Aura Sphere hits it. Obviously, the Blissey is a huge annoyance to this set, but you know, if I know the Blissey's coming in, maybe I can click Baton Pass and get into something that threatens the Blissey better. Next, we have Aethon, the Arcanine, a max attack set with close combat and Z Wild Charge. So this is sort of my hits Pex and Blissey answer. I do have to make a decent read with the Electrium Z to figure out when to burn it, because obviously that Pex has Regenerator to worry about. Will-O-Wisp on some physical threat switch-ins would be certainly worthwhile. And then E-Speed just as a little bit of a, if I need someone to clean up late. Normally I run a bulkier Arcanine, but this time I figured go all attacking. Alright, and now let's see the Araquanid. So if he brings Kyogre, then my liquidations are going to be doing a lot because it's in the rain. I also brought Icy Wind as a little bit of tech for the Ments in case he tries to get greedy and set up on me. Good amount of defensive bulk here. And then yeah, but 252 plus attacking nature, lefties, and then infestation and rest. So I can try to face up a trap and face up a Blissey or a Toxapex or something like that. So that's just a little bit of cheese to try to get around that. And obviously, with an infestation up, I can get a rest off and still be still have time to do some more liquidations most of the time. Straubs, my unburdened citrus berry slurpuff. So I ran this speed to outspeed a scarfed Galvantula, which I thought made a good amount of sense against my team. Obviously 252 attack to max that out. Then just divided the remaining bulk and give myself 1 HP, so I would get to the even number to make sure the citrus berry breaks. Drain Punch, Play Rough, and Return. So this pretty much gets everything other than Toxapex. I would need to find the right place to set up on it. Most likely Blissey would be a good time to set up. Or perhaps Toxapex. But obviously, he might run Haze or something. Passaland as well is decently passive. So yeah, just find my opportunity, and this is actually a pretty good win con. Outspeeds, I believe. I don't think it outspeeds a +1 Salamence, but if he gets to +1 Salamence, then I'm obviously just in trouble. And then a scarfed physical Landorus. Some physical bulk to take hits from, I believe I live, what was it, like a banded Stone Edge or something? I don't remember exactly. From Lycanroc. I set this to live a certain type of hit that scared me. It might have been a banded Ice Shard from Sneasel. That sounds about right. So yeah, U-turn, EQ, Rock Slide, and then Brick Break. Fighting's pretty good against most of his team, especially Blissey. I want to have some physical fighting hits. So here we are, pretty physically offensive team, pretty offensive team in general. I don't think I have anything with like an actual recovery move. So yeah, I was nervous about this match going in, but I think I built a pretty decent team. So let's see what we got. Let me switch sides here. How can I do that? Whatever. Alright, so he brings Blisspex, he brings Empoleon, good utility. Brings Kyogre, obviously, Hoopa U, and his Megament. So pretty much all the things I was most afraid of. Here we go. Switch sides. So, he leads with the Kyogre, and I figure, alright, I have my Scarfer. I can get out of here and outspeed pretty much anything. Even like a max speed Scarf Hoopa. And if he goes right for Ments, that's pretty ballsy, and I don't think he'll do that. So Kyogre comes out. So I click U-turn. See, he's not that bulky, and I do run some calcs and say, okay, what's sort of the worst case scenario here? If he's just like Calm Mind or something is pretty bad, but obviously I'm hitting physical. If he's Scarf, that's not so great either, but I should be able to take a Scarf Water Spout, and I should be able to identify that damage. But we come to realize it's the worst case scenario. He's Modest Specs. Now that doesn't kill if it's not Modest Specs at 72%. So just tossed away my Arceus. Great work on my part. I was really fearing the Thunder Reed. Would have been a big play. Would have been so nice to go into that Araquanid, even if it's only dealing out resisted liquidations and probably has to deal with a Thunder, but yeah, that obviously was the play looking back, but I tried to make a little read there. So now I go into my Aethon, and I'm like, all right, nothing wants to take Electrium Z. Nothing. It hits neutral to everything. Can't let him kill me. I know he's not max speed, so I know I outspeed him. I set this to outspeed a Modest Kyogre. So I send it, and I'm like, all right, Toxapex. Electrium Z, Gigavolt Havoc. Does a pretty good amount. I'm happy about that. So then he switches out to Blissey, which is obviously the, sort of what you imagine will happen because yeah, that defensive core is just so strong. Obviously, I have close combat, but I didn't want to blow my kill on the Toxapex by clicking close combat. Then I figure he's going to switch, go for a burn on something. Nothing really wants to be burned. But he just gets his rocks up. Again, probably a misplay on my part, pretty clearly. Uh, uh, I think close combat, I don't think it could have killed straight up from there for his, the classic 252 bold max HP set. So Rock comes in, takes an S-Toss. I can tell, all right, this game is not going my way. So I click Defog. I believe, yeah, he T-Waves me. This Blissey's just been a pain in the ass. And then I send him the Araquanid. Rocks are right back up, so all I bought was really a free switch in for this guy. So then I go for an Infestation to try to trap the Blissey if it tried to T-Wave me or something. Now I'm like, okay, if I can take out this Toxapex, I'm in pretty good shape. But he's a super defensive set, and he lives on 2. Which is a big bummer, especially because, boom, he clicks Recover. So this is not going well, folks. Just keeps clicking Recover while this Infestation's up. I could have maybe brought Soak Toxic, but at that point I have that's just like my whole set, and I probably can't even run Rest. So I do get the defense drop, back to back, a little haxy, but the Infestation, I believe, freeze. No, one more turn. Yeah, God, he was so defensive. That was a bummer. But yeah, I mean, the sad thing too is that if I had been running Mystic Water, I would have knocked him out. But it is what it is. So then his Empoleon comes in. Not certain what he wants to do here. So switch out to Aethon. He does the knockoff. Pretty decent play, safe play. And I go for the close combat. Not enough to kill. Pretty physically bulky Empoleon as well. Scald knocks me out. Now Jin comes in. Now he knew this thing was scarfed, it seemed, because of the way I played it turn 1, which I wasn't accounting for. And knowing that, he comes right in, not fearing HP Ice or anything, because he's pretty confident that I'm scarfed, which I was. So I got a hard switch into Rock. And I have the Air Slash, but he goes for a turn. And as I said, if he gets a +1 Mega Mence, this is GG. He goes for Substitute, gets a little cute with it, but I fire off the Icy Wind. So, I have one more laugh to get off, and then yeah, so pretty painful to watch on my end. This is a 5-0 loss, but we're gonna bounce back, and I might even make a transaction or two just for the Djezze's team, because this thing matches up real well against me. So that'll be it from me. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is Jewnbug, and I hope you have a great day.